There are new developments tonight in the JonBenet Ramsey case and continuing questions whether the man who says he killed her, John Mark Carr, might have made up his confession. Emails written by Carr were made public today. They show he was fixated on, obsessed by JonBenet for some time. ABC's Bill Redeker is in Boulder, Colorado tonight. Bill?
Charlie, law enforcement sources say authorities positively identified John Carr only 1 week ago, but ABC News has learned exclusively the details of exactly how he was snared in Bangkok, Thailand. According to those sources, investigators working with documentary maker Michael Tracy, who had been in touch with the then unidentified Carr by email for 4 years, arranged for Carr to pick up a package containing a photograph at a P.O. box in Bangkok. Police waited near the post office. Carr arrived riding his 21-speed bicycle that he had mentioned in an earlier email. Investigators then followed him back to his residence where they got his name.
The emails were a key factor in looking at him deeper in this particular case.
Sometimes little girls are closer to me than parents or any other person in their lives, he wrote. When I refer to myself as JonBenet's closest, maybe now you understand. And this poem, which he asked Tracy to read in front of the Ramseys' former home. JonBenet, my love, my life, he wrote. I pray that you can hear my voice, calling out to you from my darkness, this darkness that now separates us. But did Carr reveal anything that was incriminating? So prosecutors must now focus on forensic evidence, such as male DNA found under JonBenet's fingernails and in her underwear. Carr has given samples of his DNA to investigators in Thailand. Is there a match?
They're all hoping that they'll get some kind of forensic match, and if they do, they'll be vindicated. But if they don't, then we just went through the circus again.
Officials here are expected to do handwriting analysis. ABC News obtained these 2 teaching applications handwritten by Carr. But when compared with the ransom note left at the crime scene nearly 10 years ago, independent document examiners are dubious. As for Carr, officials in Thailand and here in Colorado say they expect to bring him to Boulder sometime during the next week. Charlie?
ABC's Bill Redeker tonight in Colorado. There is growing speculation from serious legal, law enforcement, and psychological experts that Carr may be lying. No one yet knows for sure. What we do know is that false confessions, particularly in high-profile cases such as this, are more common than you might think. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
One theory as to why John Mark Carr may have lied about killing JonBenet Ramsey is that he was desperate for notoriety.
And you see him there now.
2 former FBI profilers who reviewed the tape of Carr for ABC News said his seeming ease in yesterday's media scrum made them suspicious about his claims of guilt.
We need to be very careful because this individual just seems too comfortable in this environment.
Voluntary false confessions are not that unusual. They're a regular problem when it comes to high-profile cases.
In 1932, when legendary aviator Charles Lindbergh's baby was kidnapped, some 200 people confessed. And in the 1980s, a man named Henry Lee Lucas falsely admitted to hundreds of unsolved murders. People who study these cases say John Mark Carr seems to fit the profile, someone who appeared to be living an anonymous, unfulfilled, and troubled life.
For these people, there is almost a bottomless pit of attention-seeking and neediness that they have that makes it worth it for them to expose themselves to things as objectively terrible as being incarcerated for a crime you didn't commit in order to become a cause celeb.
It's come out that Carr claimed for years that he was being investigated in the Ramsey case and possibly others, when in fact he wasn't. He wrote in one email that he was the subject of a federal investigation for child murder and child molestation.
Through the simple force of the repetition of a claim, the person at some level believes that it could be true.
It is entirely possible, psychiatrists say, that Carr became so obsessed with JonBenet Ramsey that he convinced himself that he was the killer, even if he wasn't. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.